Hello everybody, welcome to the United Stands. I'm Mark Goldbridge and this is Manchester United's trip to West Ham watch along. It's a big one for Manchester United. Let's hope, I hope we're all hoping Manchester United are going to win. I mean, I just don't know with this fan base at the moment. The toxicity in the chat every single day since Thursday would lead me to question what some people actually want to happen with the club that they support. But hopefully we're all on the same page and hopefully we're all wanting Manchester United to win this game today. I certainly am. There is no point looking at the league table. We've just got to look at ourselves. And if we can get 3 points today against West Ham, then we can start to look at maybe progressing up the league. But first and foremost, it's all about the team news that has come in. I've got to say I'm right. I did say in the preview that I was absolutely convinced that he would drop Agate, and he has dropped Agate. And I suppose, obviously, no place for Ahmad. We may have expected that. I certainly would have expected that. But the Agate one, I've got to say, I'm a little bit disappointed about because I sort of question what the plan is. Again, I get it. I'm not throwing a tantrum or anything like that. We need to win the game, and I think we can win the game with the players that he's picked. But I do question a little bit what the plan is for a player that did well on Thursday, who is now dropped against West Ham. Like, when are we actually going to... I mean, I think Mel puts it right. Why did we buy him if you're not going to use him? And I think that's the question is, I get it. I get why Eriksen's come in and it's about experience. And I get Casemiro comes in for experience. But Casemiro hasn't played well. And we tried to sell him in the summer so that we could buy Agate. And then we've got Agate and we're using Casemiro. It's a mixed message. But I hope it's the right message because, I look, at the moment he's in survival mode. And until he comes out of survival mode, I'm not going to start letting him off the hook. I get it. If we win the game today with the players that he's picked, then he will take the credit. That's what the manager is there to do. But on the other hand, I'm sort of looking at it and I'm going, you know what? When are we going to see? When are we going to see what we want to see, which is the vision of what we're going to do? Dinas says I think he's too scared to try new unknown players to just keep his position. I don't think you're wrong, mate. I don't think you're wrong. I think we're in survival mode, aren't we? I've said that before, and I'll say it again. We clearly are in survival mode, and I think when you're in that mode, you do panic a little bit, and I certainly think that's probably what is going on at the moment. I think Ten Hag gave his word to some players that they will have game time in Europe instead of domestic league. Example, Agate and Xerxes, says Slogo. Anyway, that is the team for Manchester United. Onana, I mean, look, looking at the back four straight away, let's have a look at that team. Onana, Dalot, Mazraoui, Martinez, and De Ligt is probably the best back four we could play on paper. It's not the best on form. I'll come back to that. Bruno, Casemiro and Eriksen goes back 2 years to the team that finished third. And then Garnacho, Rashford and Rasmus. Look, we can have our differences about the team, but that team should win. Like, that is not a weak team. He's not put a team out that you might want Ahmad to play. You might want Johnny Evans to play. You might want Agate to play. But that team is good enough to win. Like, there are no excuses with that. If we don't win, he can't go, well, I didn't use Agate because he wasn't ready, or I didn't use Ahmad because of whatever. Like, I think that team is good enough to win this game of football. We'll look at the West Ham side in a minute. I'm a little bit surprised with Johnny Evans. Just to run through the team again, because people on TikTok are asking. It's Onana, Dalot, De Ligt, Martinez, Mazraoui, Casemiro, Eriksen, Bruno, and then Rashford, Garnacho, and Rasmus. Interestingly, that lineup has got Rashford on the left. Again, this is something I said in my preview. I mean, I think that is the team I put in the preview, isn't it? Pretty much, I think it is. The only one that might not be right is Johnny Evans. I would put Rashford up against Wan-Bissaka because he's quicker. And Wan-Bissaka's got very good recovery pace. I think Rashford's probably likely to get more out of Wan-Bissaka than... But I think Johnny Evans, thank you, Jake Smith, says, love you, Mark. Thank you very much. Thank you, everybody who tuned in yesterday, by the way, at Charlton. That watch-along was just another bucket list tick. Absolutely incredible to be able to, be doing a watch-along while there was a live game going on. Fantastic stuff there. But yeah, I think with going back to that, I think Johnny Evans being out of the team, maybe he's got a bit of a knock because he's a bit unlucky not to be in there. Well done if you've spotted that. Our new ball. We've binned off the FA Cup one. We've got a Champions League one now. But yeah. Look, I'm reasonably happy with the team. It's the result that will dictate my mood today. Obviously, I'm going to be doing Liverpool's trip to Arsenal on That's Football at 4:30 as a watch-along. And I don't want to be sat there not enjoying what Manchester United have done. Let's have a quick look at the West Ham side because obviously that's who we're playing. And they've had a few problems themselves. They come into this game having lost 3 home games out of 4. And been battered by Spurs 4-1 last week. And I say battered with conviction because they got battered. But their lineup is as follows. They've gone with Fabianski, Wan-Bissaka at right back, Mavropanos, Kilman and Emerson. Interesting. Rodriguez, Alvarez and Soler. And then Bowen, Paqueta and Antonio. So no Todibo, he's on the bench. No Soucek, he's on the bench. And obviously, I don't know whether they're changing their goalkeeper around. I mean, I have seen Areola playing in goal. But look, West Ham are not in a great place at the moment. I think the first goal is going to be so important. I think it's so easy to start moaning about this, that and the other. I'd like to have seen Agate play, but honestly, it really is about getting 3 points today for Manchester United. There is a lot going on around us in relation to the league table. But look, honestly, what I'm looking at today is quite simply, you look at the bottom of the table, that's where we are. We're on 11 points. West Ham are on 8 points. But a win today would take us to 14, which would take us nicely up to probably, I mean, you're probably going to be 8th, because I think Chelsea will beat Newcastle. So we're probably going to be in 8th, maybe 9th if Spurs win. So yeah, into the top 10. I mean, if we win today, it's not, what I'm saying is winning today isn't even going to set everybody's mind at ease. It just gets us into the top 10. So yeah, I think we've got to win today. Gummy Smith says, what did you see Obi Martin's hat-trick in 15 minutes? Look, these things are really good. They're really good. I'm encouraged by that. I think we're encouraged by the 3 young players that we have brought into the club this season. Whether they can start impacting for the first team or not, we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, I mean, look, very, very good that he's finally involved, and hopefully he can start knocking on the door. Just a few super chats to catch on. Thank you very much. If you want to do those, do them on the $sign. We'll read those out. Thank you very much, Gummy Smith, mentioning Obi Martin. I always believed in process takes time, but seeing Barcelona, that is a ruin of a club we are destroying, Bayern and Madrid like that, with a bunch of 17-year-olds raises some questions. I don't think it raises any questions, mate. Barcelona are playing in La Liga. They have not fallen as hard as Manchester United have. The last time I checked, Barcelona haven't had 10 years in the wilderness with owners that have put them into debt and let the stadium rust, and they don't play in the Premier League. So, I mean, that was an amazing result for Barcelona last night, but there's no point comparing us to Bayern Munich or Barcelona. I think we should be the Barcelona of the Premier League or the Bayern Munich of the Premier League, but yeah, we can't look at other clubs for answers. If it was that easy, Jose Mourinho would have worked. Louis van Gaal would have worked. If you're trying to say we should have got Hansi Flick, is Hansi Flick going to turn our players into what Barcelona players are? It's a different football club. Agate was not a Ten Hag signing, says Sultan. And Rub said, why Agate does not start. But you know what? We can all start making issues. I've seen people saying, why is Ahmad not starting? Maybe that's a valid point. But the fundamental conspiracy theories that sort of try to divide this fan base are hilarious. Agate is not a Ten Hag signing, and yet Ten Hag has a veto. He literally could have stopped the signing. So, look, I find it weird what's going on with Agate, but he literally could have stopped it if he wanted to. So we can't start making things up like that. Barcelona is more in debt than us, says Leon, but they pull more levers and they buy more players. And they buy better, to be honest with you. He doesn't play Ahmad to protect the position of Garnacho and Rashford, says Matt. Some people are mentioning something about Luke Shaw. I know I might be able to find it because somebody did send it to me, but let me just have a quick look. What are your thoughts on the team then, and what are your thoughts on Manchester United today? I'm going to whether it's fantasy or not, I'm going to go with a Manchester United win. I think it's absolutely imperative that we do, and I just think a draw leaves us in a difficult position. Delot is apparently going to play at right back, which we've already got, and yeah. Yeah, interesting. No, there's not much about Luke Shaw. It's more about how many games he's missed, which we've obviously spoken about quite a lot. I do not have a good feeling about today, says Dominic. And I'll tell you what, I do not have myself. I do not have a scorecard. Let me just get that up there for you. Thank you very much. Why is Mazraoui being played out of position, says WX? Well, the easy answer to that question is somebody's got to play at left back, and whoever plays at left back is playing out of position. Therefore, you could say Mazraoui, Delot, or whoever you want. Somebody plays out of position. That's the answer to the question. NAU says the difference is Barcelona have got an elite coach, United don't. Well, mate, look, if you want to go and talk about that, go on a Barcelona channel. I'm here to watch Manchester United play West Ham. And fundamentally, I disagree that a coach changes Man United. We've been trying this for 10 years. If you think one manager is going to make Man United compete and beat Real Madrid and beat Man City, then good luck to you. But I wouldn't give you a job. I think you're very, very naive. I don't think one manager is going to change Manchester United and make us win the title. I think a manager might make us better. But if you think a manager is going to change Manchester United and make them compete with Man City and Arsenal, I don't know what you're watching. Fundamentally, I look at Man United, even that team he's picked today, and I go, that midfield is too slow. It's too slow. 9 times out of 10, I'd expect Villa to batter that midfield. I'd expect Man City to destroy it. I'd expect Liverpool to destroy it. I'd expect Arsenal to destroy it. Against West Ham, it's a bit different, because their midfield is not Man City, Arsenal, or Aston Villa or Spurs. But that midfield's not very good. It's not quick enough. And I just hope it's good enough to beat West Ham like it was to beat Brentford last week. David says, I think it's disgusting that Agate's been dropped. Whether it's disgusting, expected, the right choice, the wrong choice, it was absolutely nailed on. It's going to happen. Definitely. And do you think with Delot going right back, that might mean Rashford will be at right wing since they've been working a lot together? I think wherever Delot plays, Ryan, it's a great point. I think that Rashford will stick with Delot, because what's the point in changing relationships when we have so much change going on in the team? One player that's come straight back into the team is Bruno Fernandes. I mean, look, there was a little bit of a theory that you could play Eriksen at 10 and play Agate and Casemiro. Now, if you think that was going to happen, you really are naive. Absolutely no chance that Bruno Fernandes wouldn't come straight back into this team. The question is, can he come back into this team and actually have a good performance? Because as we've seen a lot of recently, that doesn't happen. So, yeah, we need to see a performance from Bruno Fernandes here. James say it's ridiculous to compare Barcelona. It's an incomparable squad. 100%. They've got... I don't want to talk about Barcelona. We're here to talk about Man United against West Ham. It was an amazing game last night. They battered Real Madrid, and the tide has turned in La Liga, hasn't it? He was good against Brentford. He gave an assist, says Alan. And can you assure us victory today, says Colo? I wish I could. I hope we do. I really, really hope we do. And I hope every Man United fan wants us to win, but, you know... what do you think about Ahmad being on the bench again, says Alex G. Ricky's not very happy. Great question. Get us your comments in. You know, to start Ahmad, you've got to bench Rashford or Garnacho. I actually agree our best right winger is Ahmad. I agree with that. And I think Rashford and Garnacho should be fighting it out for the left wing. But what we're doing here is we are accommodating both those players at the expense of a best right winger. There is no way that Rashford likes to play on the right-hand side, and there's no way that Garnacho likes to play on the right-hand side. But to pick them both, he's putting one on the right wing. That is unfortunate for Ahmad, but this is a reason why some people will want Ten Hag out. It's why some people question him. But I'm not going to dress it up. I'm not going to put a bow on it. It is what it is. He will not drop Garnacho or Rashford, so therefore he accommodates one on the right wing. And that means Ahmad has to go to the bench. I would prefer to see Ahmad on the right, because especially in a game like this, and I'm not reinventing the wheel here. I said this in the preview. I remember Sven-Göran Eriksson doing this with England. Like, he would not drop Gerrard or Lampard, so he played them together and they never worked. And the midfield for England was imbalanced in major tournaments. But when I look at this Manchester United side, up against Wan-Bissaka, if you start Rashford on the left wing and you start Ahmad on the right wing, and Wan-Bissaka pockets Rashford, on 60 minutes you take Rashford off and you let Garnacho have a go with fresh legs. In this situation, if Wan-Bissaka gets pocketed by Garnacho, if Wan-Bissaka pockets Garnacho, after an hour you bring Ahmad on, but Rashford's going to the left, having played an hour on the right, so his head's mentally going to be a bit on the right, and he's not going to be fresh legs either. So for me, I would put Ahmad on the right, and I would start either Garnacho or Rashford with a mind of changing it. But I'm not the manager. I'm not the manager. And honestly, he's not the first manager in the world who, instead of, having his best two players on one side and benching one, they accommodate them out of position. And that's what he's been doing for a few games now. It's unfortunate for Ahmad, and injury or whatever, hopefully he will get a chance. I don't want anyone to get injured, but hopefully we'll get a chance. I don't want to be, but our wingers are going to be wasteful today. Hopefully I'm wrong, says D1. I certainly think we'll be better in the attack with Rasmus playing down the middle. As I saw it against Brentford, and I think we saw it again against Fenerbahce. When Rasmus plays as number 9, there's a lot more energy and there's a lot more pressing. So hopefully Rasmus can have an impact today against West Ham, who have been shedding a lot of goals. We all know the reason why Rashford gets picked. The competition will never be fair. This is what mentality kills our squad. This must be addressed, says Zion. Bruno has had a day off and hasn't travelled with the squad. He has to show us if we missed him at Fenerbahce, says Sizwi. Thank you very much for that. Two very good points, and thank you very much for the super chats. How are you doing today, man? Can we win today? We need a better keeper in the summer, says Gerald. I think Onana's doing well this season, is he not? Yeah, I mean, look, I'll be the first to say I think he's got his limitations, but I think he's doing well at the moment. Bruno needs to deliver, says Oleg, and most of our starting players every game are his signings or players. Bruno, Rashford and Delo, no more excuses, says Starlord. What's the West Ham team news? It's going around the screen, but obviously they've got no Kudos because he is suspended. So West Ham line up with Fabianski, Emerson, Kilman, Mavropanos, Wan-Bissaka, Alvarez, Rodriguez, Soler, Paqueta, Bowen, and Antonio. I mean, look, honestly, they could win that midfield battle. Rodriguez came in the summer. He's done a good job for them. Soler is obviously previously PSG, and Alvarez can be quite mobile. I mean, the thing that worries me, and I saw it last week with my own eyes, is that you can say Eriksen's playing well, and he is. You can't say Bruno's playing well because he's not. And Casemiro, is not the quickest player in the world. So away from home with a midfield that to me is a little bit static is a bit of a concern. But I guess we'll just have to wait and see how it pans out. Bringing Anthony instead of Ahmad was mad, says Maxim. Well, that's a different game, mate. I mean, we can't live in the past, can we? And Anthony's injured now anyway. I really think Southgate's going to win the Champions League, says Super Donut. Thoughts on United asking City to give 2 of their players a lift to the Ballon d'Or, says 58 Go. I was asked this yesterday. I mean, I really don't care. I really don't care. I mean, there's enough stories written about Manchester United that may be false that I just don't care. So what? I mean, people getting the knickers in a twist about it. I genuinely just don't care that Man United asked if they could get a couple of plane tickets from Man City. So what? What are we supposed to, I suppose, what am I supposed to do? I'm supposed to sit here and go, it's embarrassing. This club's a joke. Can't even afford plane tickets. Hold on a minute. We've been in debt for 20 years. Old Trafford's a rusting bloody lump of metal. And then people are surprised that we might be cutting costs on plane tickets. I mean, I'm just not surprised. It doesn't surprise me. West Ham win, says Alpha Beast, and Rain says it is embarrassing. Well, look, if you find it embarrassing, crack on in the chat. It's boring. It's a boring story to me. I'm missing Scott. Glad he's doing well, says Stephen Bell. Bigger threat today, West Ham counters or caution, says PK. I don't know what that means. Biggest threat today is West Ham today. West Ham counter or caution. Don't know. Don't know how we're going to play. Are we going to play deep and counter? Are we going to try and get hold of the ball? Who's going to have more possession? I mean, this is one of the things that we're sort of struggling about, isn't it? So I don't know. I don't know how we're going to play today. Is that not one of the issues with Manchester United? I don't know how West Ham will play today. Could be a really boring 0-0 draw like Villa, where both teams panic and just, play the game out. But they've got players that can cause us problems, certainly. Replacing McTominay with a stud in Agate is like, okay, I'm not reading it. Sorry. He's a twat. It doesn't have to get read. It's a twat. Read it yourself. How much of a loss is Mainu to the team, says Gary. Well, we're not doing injuries, are we? So we're not using it as an excuse. Everybody's got injuries, haven't they? So we're not using it as an excuse. So we go with what we've got. Everybody else has injuries, as we all know. I did a video on it last night that some people just seem to lack the mental capacity to understand what I was talking about. It's not an excuse in season 2, but something at the football club has got to change because we're getting so many injuries, aren't we? I am doing Liverpool against Arsenal at 4:30, yeah. Do you think Wan-Bissaka will pocket Rashi? I think Wan-Bissaka is a very good player. I think Wan-Bissaka is a very, very good defensive player, and I think he's got a point to prove. And I think as much as we've seen the likes of Dean Henderson perform well against Manchester United in the past, I do worry a little bit about the potential for that to happen again. But I suppose the antidote to that is that who's more motivated? I mean, I always find it difficult when an ex-player, we expect an ex-player to play well against us, and then they do, because I think, well, is that not like where does the professional pride kick in? It's almost like, when you play an ex-player and you see them in the tunnel. I think Man United players almost look at them and feel sorry for them and go, "Oh yeah, I hope you have a good game, mate." Look, I don't want to be the History Channel, but when an ex-player played against Manchester United, when you had the likes of Roy Keane playing, they'd be motivated that they're the enemy, and the motivation has to be to not look at Wan-Bissaka as an ex-player who's a mate, and to look at him as somebody who's lining up for the opposition and who you want to get on top of. Yeah, but they're always motivated against us, says PH. Thank you very much for that. I had a birthday yesterday, so I truly hope that we win, says Alan. Well, I hope we win for your birthday, but I hope we win anyway, obviously. Are you ready for the stress to begin, says JM. Well, yeah, I think you raise a good point. I think it is going to be stressful today. Look, I'd love Manchester United to turn up and completely and utterly dominate West Ham and be 2 or 3-0 up at half time and cruising, but they have had their own problems, West Ham, and they are at home. What I will say about this game is that there's a real opportunity to get in front first. I think if they get in front first, our heads will drop. If we can get in front first, their heads might drop, and I think that would be how I would be looking at it. They're at home, that's an advantage, but if we can start well, you can silence that crowd quite quickly. Yeah, thanks, mate. You can still switch sides with Rashford and Garnacho during the first half, then Ahmad in the second half, so I don't see the difference, Mark, says Michael. I'd like to see Ugarte and Casemiro together, Mark, says Enjoy Writing. Well, he's never going to drop Bruno, and he's never going to drop Eriksen, so I completely agree with you, but you could read that Casemiro was going to start today as soon as he picked the team on Thursday. Rub says, I'm thinking it'll be an easy win for United. Mate, easy win and United is not something we're used to, but I do hope that you're correct, because I think we would all love to see that. And if we do that, I would look at it and say, you know what, it's just another tick and another small step in the right direction. I heard Man United receptionist Kath is to be sacked, says Q. I don't know about that. Would have liked to see Ugarte next to Mainu, says Ryan. Well, Mainu's injured, so that was never going to happen. We can't moan about that. And I can't see us getting much out of this today, says Claret and Stu. We've got Somerville sat on the bench with no natural left winger on the pitch. There we go. What I would say is, famous last words, I don't think we'll ever not have a chance to win this game. In the sense that I don't think West Ham are the sort of team that's going to be 2 or 3-0 up and punish you that much. So the opportunity there for Manchester United to be in the game is there for 90 minutes. We've just got to go and deliver. And as I say, that back four really, apart from a left back that we never seem to have, is probably about as strong as we can go. That back five is about as strong as we can go on paper. I think there's a case to say that Johnny Evans could have started, but yeah, I think with Martinez and De Ligt and Mazraoui and Delo and Onana, that's something to hopefully build upon. I personally think, going back to how we might play, I personally think we might sit Casemiro in front of the back four, play a little bit deep and use the pace on the break, being as we're away from home and the players are quite comfortable with that. But yeah, I guess we'll just have to wait and see. Eriksen Casemiro says data. Okay. Thanks everyone who's tuning in, by the way. Please do subscribe to the channel. I should have said this a lot earlier. Thanks for all the follows on TikTok. Please do subscribe to the channel. We're only 50 subscribers away from 954,000. So we're only 50 subscribers away. Top right-hand corner. Bottom right-hand corner to subscribe, or bottom left-hand corner for you. Make sure you subscribe and get involved. We're all very well. We're only 50 away. So, what do we got? Let me get me. I've just lost my chat here. It'll be back. Don't worry. Bart with a super chat says, I think Ten Hag wants to give Ugarte some rest because he sees what happened with Mainu after being played so much in the sixth position. Well, he's getting a lot of bloody rest, mate. He hardly ever bloody plays. He didn't play him for 1 minute against Porto or Villa. He only played him for about 5 minutes against Brentford. He's getting more rest than my bloody Christmas tree. Only comes out once a year. Eye on the Casemiro. He's often higher up than the 8, says Ryan. It'll be interesting to see how high our defensive line is today as well. But give us your score predictions and let us know where you're watching from. Thanks everyone who's tuning in on TikTok as well. Faz says, why is someone on Ahmad on the bench? Score predictions for Newcastle, Chelsea, says MUFC. We'll keep you updated on that, actually. I've got a few screens on the go today. But yes, I'm excited to see what Manchester United can do, and hopefully they will get a win. I'm going to go, I'm not very good on score predictions, but I'm going to go 2-1. I think it will be tight. Yeah, I think it will be tight. Right, I'm going to go stand-up mode. Let's do it. It's 2. I get 2 tenths to sit down. So we're going to stand up and be counted, hopefully. Manchester United against West Ham at the London Stadium. Got some quotes coming in from Ten Hag as well. He says, we've recovered, returned, we've made good preparation, and we have to go again. We have to make the best team from who is available, and we hope everyone who is not available returns very soon because we need all our players. Is that a little bit of a hint again about injuries? Is that an excuse? I'm sure it won't be for many of you. But yeah, all good, ready to go. Obviously, no David Moyes. We're normally used to seeing him. There we go. Oh, this is going to be on. No, it should be all right. I'm just trying to think when my last watch along was. What's the key battle on the pitch? Says PK. Midfield. Yeah, definitely the midfield, I think. Yeah. A lot of people will focus on Wan-Bissaka and who's playing there, but I think it's the midfield is where the game will be won and lost, if I'm being completely honest. 13th against 16th, says William. Oh, mate, bore off. Seriously, bore off. If you don't want to watch it, don't watch it. Go and watch Chelsea against Newcastle. Winner of the game keeps their job. I think they'll both keep the job even if they lose, to be honest. Garnacho starts out on the left-hand side, by the way. Mazraoui at left back, Delo at right back, and obviously Marcus Rashford plays on the right wing. Chelsea nearly scored there as well. It's time to start scoring more goals, says Leonard. With a conversion rate of 4.6 in the Premier League, only Crystal Palace is behind us. It's not good enough. And Mark, favourite snack to have during a game, says Ivor. I don't really normally snack during games, if I'm being honest with you. But if I was choosing, I'd probably say, give me some nuts. Yeah. I've got to be honest as well. I haven't actually seen a lot of West Ham this season. I think the only game I've watched West Ham play was the opening weekend when they played against Villa, and I thought Villa actually at West Ham, and I thought Villa played a lot better than them. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see what they're all about. But here's Rashford on the attack, cuts it back, and Garnacho hits the bar. He's hit the bar. And again, you know, I've got to be honest, these are absolutely right. Good play, but, you know, those need to go in. In games like this, that needs to go in. And then Bruno with a shot from stupid nowhere. Yeah, you need to score them. You really, really do. Because if you don't, it's a let-off, and it just allows the opposition to breathe again. And what we're talking about, is that ability to put the ball in the back of the net. That, look, I'm not saying it was easy, but, you know, you've got to put it in. I mean, it was good work by Eriksen. It was Bruno with the cutback. I thought it was Rashford with the cutback. It was good work by Eriksen to play in Bruno first time. And to be fair, it's a good hit by Garnacho. Chelsea are leading 1-0, by the way. Cole Palmer. They're 1-0 up already. But Garnacho hits the bar anyway. Even says, are you doing a Liverpool-Arsenal watch-along, says Evan. And, of course, the great thing would be about that, if Garnacho scores, is that he would... he's doing it up against Wan-Bissaka. Might be offside, the Chelsea goal. I think he probably is offside by the looks of it. Just checking the offside. So Man United hit the bar. Chelsea have scored against Newcastle, but it's being reviewed for offside. Of course, Manchester United play Chelsea next weekend at Old Trafford on Sunday. I'd fancy Chelsea to beat Newcastle anyway, but have they got an early start here? I mean, it looks offside. I don't know what they're looking at there, but... Bruno's just gone down, caught late on the ankle. Yeah, he's offside. Offside for Cole Palmer. People moaning about the camera angle. Are you doing Liverpool versus Arsenal? Says Evan. Yes, busy afternoon. We will do this Man United game. Then we'll be doing the match reaction with the fan and then the fan forum. But I will be on That's Football for Liverpool against Arsenal, of course. Score prediction for Arsenal-Liverpool, says Sniper. I think Liverpool will win that one. Yeah. Somebody said that the timer's wrong. The timer is set to what I'm watching. If you're watching it on something else, then your timer is right. But mine is based upon the timer for what I have, which is something we've been telling you for 10 years. But I suppose you always get newbies. If you want to sync in with us, that's what our timer is doing. Look, take the positives. Man United have had the best chance of the start of the half. We're having more of the ball, and hopefully that will grow a little bit of confidence, and we can dictate to West Ham. That would be good. All the Premier League games are in London today, aren't they, says Andy. They are. They're all in London, aren't they? Because I said that yesterday when I was in London, in Charlton yesterday. But yeah, Arsenal, Liverpool, Crystal Palace, Spurs, Chelsea, obviously Newcastle and West Ham, Man United, but Chelsea are all over them at the moment. We're in London, aren't we? Be positive, Mark, says Jay. Mate, I am positive. I'm behind the team, but I'm also realistic that I don't go into any Man United game feeling confident. So, you know, it's not easy at the moment, but we have hit the post. We've had a bit of possession. As I said, I don't think West Ham are the sort of team that are going to dominate Manchester United and score 4 or 5 goals. So we should always be in this game. I mean, to be honest, West Ham have just pumped a long ball forward and Martinez just too small in that situation to win the flick on. Compete for the flick on, sorry. And some good little bit of passage of passing from Manchester United there. Nice ball over the top, and Bruno can't get on the end of it. Dave says, it's my friend Rachel's birthday. She watches you all the time. Happy birthday. Here's to a United win. Rachel Ross. There we go. Thank you from Dave, and a happy birthday to Rachel. Hopefully Man United can get a win for you and everybody else who wants Man United to win. But hopefully it'll be a good birthday for you. Pablo says, what is the quote of the day? Sometimes I think people just stumble into the wrong stream. Jason Bowditch makes a great point. Why are they still drawing lines for offside? We've had 2 international breaks. Wasn't the automated offside meant to be in after the first? Mate, you're very, very correct. And welcome to the Premier League, where they are just full of shit and incompetent. So, you know. Nice ball into Garnacho. In behind again. Here he goes. Oh, wide. Wide again. Another chance for Garnacho, and he's put it wide. Well, I don't know where Wan-Bissaka is, but I mean that would have been a very good finish from Garnacho. It wasn't as good as it wasn't a great chance, but it reminds me of Brentford. Right, reminds me of Brentford. I mean, the kid at the moment is just getting loads and loads and loads of opportunities, but lovely pass from Bruno, says Cole. You got it, yeah. But you know, we're already talking about it, aren't we? We're already saying that you know we've got to score these chances. Christian, welcome to the Members Club. Thank you very much. Toby says, what's for tea? I think I've got roast chicken. What does Ahmad have to do to get a start? Says Atib. We've spoken about that, mate. We're watching the match now. We need to put some crosses in. How many times have we seen Wan-Bissaka get caught out at the back post? Our players should know that, says Victor. Wagner's just gifted 10 memberships as well. Big shout out to Wagner. Thank you very much for that. Get your badge in. So, look, good start by United, but we've got to put the ball in the back of the net. Story of our lives. Stonesbury, thank you very much for being a member for 30 months. Would you sign 2010 Chicharito to this Man United team, or are you comfortable with our number 9? No, I'd never not take another striker, mate. I mean, Xerxes hasn't settled yet. Rasmus has had a few injuries, so I'd never not want another striker. And Chicharito would be a decent option, so yeah. Need Rashford on the left and Ahmad on the right, says Jacob. Yeah, but I think the Garnacho criticism, I just don't get it. He's a 20-year-old, and some of our fans are just fucking arseholes, if I'm being honest with you. They just don't understand the football club they support. They just don't. You're meant to nurture and develop, and we're terrible at it, some of our fans. And as I've said about Garnacho time and time again, whether I'm not saying he always scores, but he is a chance magnet. He's a bit like Darwin Núñez. Things happen with him, and that's a trait in itself. Like I saw it against Brentford last week. Things happen when he's got the ball. So if things keep happening for him when he's like 23, 24, maybe those first 2 chances go in. Sean O'Connor, thank you very much. Fantastic comment here from Shush. I mean, look, is this the way youth modern society works today? Yamal's 17 and doing better. It doesn't matter about his age. Yeah, because every 20-year-old is the finished article, like Yamal is at 17. Yeah, Yamal's not even the finished article. What are you even doing? Why does every teenager have to be compared to Yamal? Maybe Yamal's going to be the greatest player that's ever played the game. Just incredible analysis, mate. Incredible. You know when you get married and on the wedding night, say it's to a woman, and she doesn't do what you've been watching on the websites, what are you going to do? Oh, I've been watching websites for years where they've been doing all this sort of stuff. Why aren't you doing it? Maybe because it's different people. Another good cross came into Rasmus there. Didn't quite get on the end of it. Bruno over the bar as well. Fucking hell. Was Bruno offside? Is Bruno offside there? I don't know. I don't know the answer. Oh, he's miles on. Miles on. Absolutely miles on. That's the best chance of the game. Too many chances being missed so far. Really, really good start, but you know, if the game finished 0-0, you'd sit there and go, already, we should have scored. You could argue we've missed 4 chances. 2 of them, I'd say, you've got to score. Rasmus was close as well, yeah. Just keep going on. Just keep going. Keep going. Hope you're doing well, Mark. We are looking tidy on the ball so far, says Luke. We've started off really well. You just want to put the ball in the back of the net. I don't like these sort of games when you're away from home because the crowd will start moaning, but it's 0-0. You need to put the ball in the back of the net. I think Bruno's chance. Well, tell me in the chat whose chance do you think was the best? James, thanks very much for your follow on TikTok. I think Bruno's chance is the best. WRJ says, do you think Wheatley or the other academy young players will get minutes? No. No. The Alien says, stew and dumplings and a Man United win would be awesome. Oh, cross came in there. Martinez gets rid of it. Wolfie says, it's unbelievable that Agate's not starting again. Can you wish Pete a happy birthday from the Baggies? Says Baggy. And Sean O'Connor, welcome to Members Club. Come on, what's going on here? 0-0 in all the other games. Of course, Palace against Spurs, not really relevant for us. I mean, it'd be nice for Spurs to drop points, actually, because they are above us. But if we don't win, it doesn't matter. So I'm not really looking at anybody else. Which players are you watching keenly in this game? Love the watch-along. United stand forever, says Carrie. I think the midfield is realistically what I'm looking at. There's talk of a penalty for Newcastle. I'm just having a quick look at this outside the box on Bruno G. Did you see the hat-trick from Obi in the youth team, says Angry Ginge, 13 clips. I did, and a very exciting player, but, you know. We should be 3-0 up, says Maverick. United have missed the most chances in all of the top 15 league in Europe. What can Ten Hag do? They play well and are missing and making mistakes, says Stig. Look, the hardest thing in football is to create chances. Look at the stats. Just look at these stats. Take a bloody picture. Catch it in 4K. Look at this. He says, look at it. Just look at that for a moment. 5 shots, 63% possession, only 1 on target, 90% pass accuracy, double the amount of passes. You know, you can take a horse to water, but you know you can't make it drink. What would you give to see us give someone a pasting, says Colin. I'd love it. I'd bloody love it, but we just don't look capable, do we? Vishant wants to talk about Barcelona. Are they the best team in Europe? I don't really care, mate, honestly. They did really well last night, but it's low hanging fruit for me at the moment. What would you give? I thought they were fantastic last night. Jay says, we've absolutely dominated them, but we can't finish to save our lives. And DNA says, we're moving the ball very well so far. Good movement of the ball too. The goals will come if we keep it up. You just got to keep that head up, haven't you? There's Neto. This should be 1-0 to Chelsea. Lovely goal. What a goal that is by Chelsea. Lovely goal by Chelsea. Brilliant. I mean, they don't need Sancho on the wing. That was brilliant by play. Brilliant by Neto. Yeah, if you're keeping an eye on Chelsea, it was brilliant. The ball by Palmer was electric as well. I didn't realise that, but the cross by Neto is exactly what you want your winger to do. Just looking at it back for Chelsea here. Goes into Cole Palmer. Oh, God. That pass by Cole Palmer. Bloody hell. I thought Neto did well. Unbelievable. Just unbelievable stuff. Neto does brilliantly as well. We've absolutely dominated, done that from Jace. We need an experienced striker, says AT, who can finish chances. And Atlantic says, with a super chat, it's his birthday tomorrow. I hope Man United doesn't ruin it. Happy birthday, mate. Well, the way we've started, you'd be... I think Cole Palmer's the best player in the Premier League at the moment. I was asked this yesterday. Did a bit of some stuff at Charlton, and I was asked about who's the best player in the Premier League at the moment, and I said Cole Palmer. And some people wouldn't agree. But I was like, well, look, at the moment means form. At the moment, I think he is. But yeah, look, the way we're playing at the moment, you would hope we will put the ball in the back of the net. Just keep doing what we're doing, keep creating chances. But you know, West Ham can't be much worse than they've been already. Nice ball into the channel. Here's Wan-Bissaka coming forward. Constantine says there's no way we have those stats against Arsenal, Liverpool, Chelsea, Man City or even Tottenham. And the relevance of that is we're playing West Ham, mate. I mean, okay. Maverick says, I'm worried that West Ham are growing into it. Newcastle, look, have had a worrying start, haven't they? Rashford nearly through one-on-one there. You know what? I was just thinking then we could do with the chance falling to Rashford. And I think he had a bit of a chance there. "20 minutes gone. It's flown by, but it's 0-0. West Ham would be very happy with 0-0 at the moment. Antonio's got it here on the left-hand side. Jordan C says, let's see if Mark's theory of the 30-minute mark of both halves being a period for goals. Shah's going to get booked for Newcastle there. No end product for United, says Marius T on TikTok. Thank you very much. Good question here. Do you see us getting top four? Mate, at the moment, we're not even in the top half. There we go. Fixed it. I just have two internet sources, so I just went back to plug in. One of them's better for when I'm streaming like computer games, and one of them's better when I'm doing these sort of things. And I just forgot to change it over because I was at Charlton yesterday. Casemiro brings it into Garnacho, into Rashford. Tries too much again. Colin S says Bowen's going to score first. Your dog's box. I don't know what that's all about. Not scoring again opens the chance for a lucky header or a foot and we're behind. Then someone has to cut Delit again for our players to respond, says Eugene. There's no way we have those stats. Okay, I've done that from Constantine. Do you think Mazraoui is playing comfortable left back? I feel he might be struggling, says Kate. Wow, mate, I think it's always the same, isn't it? I think that when it comes to whoever plays at left back, you have to cut them a little bit of slack. Thanks very much for the follow on TikTok, Toby. Appreciate that. Score's up now, sorry. Fraser and Daniel, thanks for the follow. We really needed to score one of those chances, you know. If you're just tuning in a bit late, Manchester United have had 3 or 4 big chances in this game, not taken them. Now the game is sort of settling down a bit. And got a yellow card here for Paqueta for West Ham. It's interesting. Paqueta got a yellow card there for getting in the way of the ball, and yet Phil Foden didn't get one yesterday. Omar says, I think that Mo Salah is better than Cole Palmer. Best Bruno's played all season so far, says Jimmy. Yeah, I'd agree. I think he should have scored, but he has been a bit better. These players are so unintelligent, it's incredible. What are they even doing up front, says Bees. Thank you very much for that. Hope you're well, says Heart of United. You too, pal. You too. So just around the 2 o'clock games actually today. Still 0-0 between Crystal Palace and Tottenham. Chelsea lead 1-0 against Newcastle. Tottenham have had a lot of the ball against Crystal Palace, but there's not been any shots on target in that game so far. And as you can see, Man United, West Ham haven't had any chances yet. Man United have had a few without really testing their goalkeeper. Bruno headed over the bar when he was unmarked. Garnacho hit the bar and then hit one wide. And then Rasmus also with a cross. And then Rashford in a one-on-one. Not an easy one-on-one for Rashford, to be fair. But yeah, a few chances for Man United, but ultimately no goals. Hyan says, I haven't watched you for a bit, but you look like you've become tired of the Man United inconsistency, Mark. I think we all have, mate. I think we've just become realistic to Manchester United in the sense that even though it's a good start, I'm not getting carried away by it because it's 0-0. And how many times... I mean, to be honest with you, it's nice to see us playing quite well. But on the other hand, playing quite well, we need to win. Like, I don't care if we play shit today as long as we win. La Familia says, if this is Bruno's best game, then we are toast. Thank you very much for your super chat there, mate. And Swag says, the bad news is that these are trying times. The good news is that they always end. Patience for greatness with new owners. Thank you very much, Swag, for your super chat there. Corner to West Ham. Do not like West Ham corners. Don't think Man United defend them particularly well. Free header over the bar. See what I mean? I mean, and it's Paqueta as well. I mean, that's a free fucking header. If that's somebody half decent, that's probably 1-0. No one anywhere fucking near him. Don't even know who's meant to be marking him there. Dark Moon has said, do you like to see Martinez back at left centre back? Well, it's his position. I mean, I want Martinez to do well, and I think our best centre back pairing has to be, at the moment, until Yoro comes back, it's got to be Martinez and De Ligt. We spent a lot of money on them, but whether it actually is our best starting 11 or not is another matter. Good play by United there. Casemiro into Garnacho. I don't know whether he's onside. And that looked like quite a nasty foul. But on Garnacho, there was an offside anyway, so it's not going to matter. Oh, it's a bad tackle that by Mavropanos. It's high, it should be a yellow card, but the bloody linesman's gone and put his flag up, so nothing happens. I don't know what's happening here. I think they're giving a free kick. It's very, very high. Yellow card. It's giving him a yellow card, but I don't think we're going to get the free kick. I think it's a bad foul. He's put his foot very, very high up in the air. And they've gone back for the offside, but the referee has said, I'm still going to give you a yellow card. I actually think it's quite good officiating because we're not going to get the free kick. So at least we get something. Uh, 1-1. Newcastle have just scored. Don't want to alarm you, but they have. Newcastle have just scored. Isaac. 1-1. Temper says we need an experienced striker. Striker's not really been in the game again, mate. I mean, you might be right, but if you think we're not playing well because of Rasmus, then you're not. I don't know what game you think you're getting involved in. Just looking at this goal for Newcastle. He's offside. Oh no, he's offside. I think there's two offsides there. Oh, for fuck's sake, Delo. Have you just seen that? How the fuck are we not winning this game? Ball over the top by Bruno, over the goalkeeper. He's literally just got to pass it in, and he fucking volleys it over the bar. I mean, what the fuck are we doing? What the fuck are we doing? Just don't talk. I don't know what... I mean, what the fuck? Is this sabotage? We should be fucking 4-0 up. I mean, that's just unmissable. And he's bloody missed it. I mean, for fuck's sake, mate. I mean, this is incredible. This is absolutely incredible. I'm starting to worry that we might lose this game because we should be home and hosed. We shouldn't be 1-0 up. We should be about 2-0 up. He's gone over the goalkeeper. He's let it bounce. There's a slight angle on it. There's not even anyone on the line. And you just use the inside of your foot. He's trying to fucking volley it. The technique is twattish. You do not hit the ball like that. He's trying to volley it with his laces into an open goal. That's not how you finish in an open goal. You use the instep of your foot and you put it in the fucking net. Absolutely incredible. Apparently, the Newcastle goal's been given as well. He's not right, is he? He's just not right. Oh, fucking hell. We've already had some chances we should have scored. That is incredible. Absolutely incredible. Just side foot it exactly, Rudrish. K1 says, I hate criticising players, but Casemiro is playing basic football. His passes, his anticipation, just wrong. What happened to him? I wouldn't have picked him, K1, but I knew we would. They're trying to get Ten Hag sacked. Purposely missing, says Devon. This is proof that it's not all Ten Hag's fault, says Rav. Well, today, we should be winning this game. Is Delo wearing pink boots or something, says Wan. Yeah, apparently we need an experienced striker, though. People moan about Bruno. He should have had 3 assists in this game. I can't believe how bad our finishing is. That's why I'll always disagree. Bruno would get in other top teams and be successful, says Sean. You're right. I mean, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. Oh my God. It's just got one of those days written all over it. Incredible. Newcastle's goal's been given, by the way. It looked offside to me. Bad Nistelrooy needs to work on overtime, says Jake. With Halloween coming, what's the most... Hold on a minute. Garnacho's got it. No, he's gone now. Crystal Palace are apparently winning 1-0. Mateta, assist from Eze. They're rolling back their end of season form from last year. Bruno free kick. Oh, a free kick for us. May as well give him a bloody goal kick. Absolute waste of time. There's just no point. Game screaming out for Ahmad, says Brian. Jim says we can all see where this is going to end up. If you can't see where this is going to end up, it's going to end up with a bloody West Ham win. Fucking, if West Ham win this game, we should have won it by now. It should be over. Do we even have a striking coach after Benny McCarthy left, says Jonathan. I can't believe... Have I got a ball? I have got a ball, right. Literally, I can't believe, right. He's over the goalkeeper. It's bounced up like that. And instead of using his instep, he's at the top of his... He's trying to volley it with that. So if that's the foot, you should open the foot up. So if that's his foot, he's hit it with this. He's put his foot, laces through it. Like that. Just open your foot up and side foot it. He's gone like that. Into an open fucking goal. Don't worry, I didn't watch the free kick. There's no bloody point. Waste of time. I don't watch Man United free kicks. I'm almost jinxing them to score. Tammy says there's no way Ten Hag gets a low rating today. These prats are bottling it. I've never seen anybody in that position shoot like that into an open goal. If anything, when it's an open goal, you make bloody sure that you put it in there. Well done to Newcastle for getting back into this. We need the Prince of Belfast to come off the bench. I presume that's Johnny Evans, Dimitri. Dear me. Dear, dear, dear. Incredible. Niall McDonald says, my nan could have scored it and she's been dead for 3 years. We've got to put the ball in the back of the net here. Someone's going to have to cut Delita. We need it, says Eugene. I've been gone for a while because watching this team is a chore. I see things have not changed. Cheers to you all for the community, says Bryce Jones. Hope you're doing well, pal. Unbelievable miss, says Lynn, by Delo. Garnacho wins a corner. We've had 38 minutes. We're nearly at half time. I mean, the thing is, if we go in at half time 0-0, West Ham get the chance to reset and go again. Here's Cole Palmer again. Fantastic ball. Brilliant. Just absolutely brilliant. Gets it to Madueke. Into Neto. Over the bar. Scholesy said this, need experience in the attack, says Anant. But the chances aren't falling to the attackers, are they? Falling to Bruno Fernandes, Delo, Garnacho. We haven't got a more experienced winger. Oh my God, hit the bar from a West Ham header. Not from, no, that makes it sound like West Ham nearly scored. No, they hit the bar from West Ham. Antonio's offside there. Their own defender headed it onto their own bar. It's drudgery week after week. There's nothing exciting about this team. Jack, you're watching the wrong fucking game. I mean, I know you probably want to sack the manager, but we are actually playing well. We just can't fucking score. That's the annoying thing. My bloody's boiling. I'm livid, says Quicks. Josh says he went for the Hollywood finish. Mate, you know it. You know it. You know he did. He's had a cold, hard rush of blood to the head and done something he never should do. Sigurd says Mazraoui's playing fantastic. I think Eriksen's done well again. I think Bruno's done well. Mazraoui's been good. Martinez has gone down injured here. On the foot. Fucking hell. That's his foot. And we know he's had problems with his foot. Well, you would think Delo would kick the ball low, says Parker. This don't look good. Was it his left foot last time, or is it his right foot? I don't know. Don't know whether it's the same foot or not. Cack says goodbye to the title race. Yeah, we were never in a title race, mate. I think Martinez is saying they want to check. They should check the VAR. I've not seen it, so I don't know. We can beat on teams like West Ham, but lose to teams who matter, says William Shakespeare. Real change won't happen for a few seasons, says Luke. Upgrade our defence, but midfield and attack haven't changed levels. Hard reality, I feel we must accept. Well, the good news is that Martinez is up. Nothing's going to happen in relation to the actual tackle. I didn't see it anyway. But looks like we're heading in 0-0 at half-time here, which is just very, very frustrating. Who do you think will be the next shock Premier League winner, says Benji. I haven't really given it much thought, Benji, if I'm being honest. JavaScape says this looks like hangover football. And thank you very much for your super chats there. Who do you think is going to be the big shock Premier League winner? I haven't really given it a lot of thought. I don't see one. I really don't. Here's Garnacho out on the left-hand side again. He's had a good game. Cross is good. To be honest with you, it's the sort of cross you want a striker to attack, but I can't knock Garnacho there. But there's no one on the end of it. Tom says, at this rate, we will qualify as bottom of the league club for Jose to take over. Another free kick. Mazraoui's gone down injured this time. Would you swap Bruno for Musiala, says Luke? I think from an age point of view, you probably would do, yeah. Tone Enzo says, it's amazing that we haven't scored. Thank you very much for that. Mazraoui's up. Eriksen puts a cross in. Oh, for fuck's sake. And now you've got worldies by Fabianski. It's so fucking frustrating. So fucking frustrating. I just can't... I can't. West Ham, if you're a West Ham fan, get the beers out, because at 6 o'clock, well, what time will this? 4 o'clock today, you'll be celebrating. I'm telling you now. There ain't no way you're not going to win this game. Lovely cross into the box by Ericsson. The header is from Casemiro, and the keeper pulls off a worldie. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. I mean, it should be at least 2 up. Even when we played decent. Pete Phillips says, is there a way we could all donate and buy a left back? Come on. Referee's having a fucking nightmare here. I think he could have given out more yellow cards. Ericsson is the only player that gives me hope, says La Familia. So Man United took a quick free kick, quick throw in here. And the referee gave West Ham the throw. %57 possession, 8 attempts to 1. 0-0. Glenn Castle says we should be 4-0 up. Palace all over again. Well, yeah, I mean, fucking hell, Kev, yeah. Absolutely spot on, Palace all over again. Exactly the same thing happened against Crystal Palace. Dominated them for about an hour, and then we're hanging on at the end. West Ham nearly getting in themselves there. Bruno, where's he going here? Into Garnacho. Not going to get that. Throw into them. Make sure you subscribe, by the way. We were very close to 954,000. We're only about 20 away. So bottom right-hand corner to subscribe. What are we doing for time? Yeah, he's going to blow up, isn't he, here? I don't know how long he's actually added on. Yeah, he's going to blow. He's going to blow. That's going to be half time. Fucking fuming. Fuming. Absolutely fuming for the wrong reasons. It's so bloody frustrating. It's Crystal Palace all over again. It literally is. Manchester United go in at half-time, 0-0, and West Ham have been pure shit, and United are 0-0. I'm absolutely angry. I'm angry about that because we don't know what we're going to get from United. Like, I thought we were very good in the second half against Brentford and we deserved the points. Fenerbahce was a little bit frustrating. But today, we've actually created some really good chances. And, I mean, look, let me just start off with it. Dalot. That is going to live with Dalot for the rest of his career if we don't win this game. No, probably not the rest of his career, but you know what I mean. We should be 1-0 up. It's not like... We literally should be 1-0 up. I would say maybe 2-0 up. Some might say 3-0 up. It's disgusting. It's you know what as well? It's as bad as a mistake at the back post. You know when a corner comes in and someone's not marking their man? It's as bad as the chances we've missed. When Onana pulls off a worldie, that's as good as someone scoring a goal. And when people are missing chances, that's as bad as a mistake at the other end. It's stupid. We've been robbed of goals by incompetence in front of goal. And people don't think about it like that when it's missed chances because they just go, oh, it's just a miss. But it's not just a miss. Like, we literally should be winning this game. And that crowd would be even more pissed off and West Ham heads would drop even further. They now get an opportunity to go in at half-time, listen to the manager and maybe play a little bit better, which is exactly what happened against Palace. It's not acceptable. It's not acceptable to be in a position where you're missing the amount of chances we are. And that fucking Dalot one. Oh my God. My goldfish would score that. And I haven't even got one. I mean, things that would score that goal, that Delo didn't score. A garden gnome, a lawnmower. I mean, fucking hell. It's just a Vauxhall Astra. It's just unbelievable. But, you know, there will be people quite rightly saying you have to try and take the positive. There's still 45 minutes to go. Well, there is still 45 minutes to go. And whilst the fans suffer, they have to, as players, come out and keep their heads and keep going. They have to. Just Football says, Rasmus brings nothing. Xerxes for the hold-up play. Rasmus has had a very quiet game today. I would be very, very much in agreement. But I would also say, Robert McCormack says that Rashford's being completely wasted as well. I think Rashford's been very, very quiet as well. I agree. Rasmus and Rashford have been very, very quiet. Yeah, but, you know, what's on the bench to do anything about them? I mean, Xerxes not looking good at the moment. You have got Ahmad there. I can't believe this and watch the media blame it on Ten Hag. Says Connor. Well, I actually, if anybody's blaming it on the coaching today, what coach are you blaming it on? Because I think we've played really good football. We've had 57% possession. We've had 8 shots, 2 of them on target. We've played way more passes than them. Our pass accuracy has been good. We've made lots of tackles. We've made more tackles than them. For an away performance, it's been very good, but so was West Ham. And, you know, look, if he doesn't win this game, it's pressure on Ten Hag. That's the way it is. So the players have got to step up. Paul Thompson says, happy with Ten Hag, but tactically, do you think it's harder for us to defend the flanks with inverted wingers because they're on the wrong foot? Column says, we're heading towards a mid-table finish. Garnacho and Rashford should be fighting for the left wing, says D. Budge. Garnacho's finishing needs improving. He misses so many, says Louis. Cloud says, these players are not good enough. Delo is shit. And if Rashford is in the right position, we would be leading, says Robert McCormack. Muyad says we should be 5-0 up. What does Rude do in training? Play Pictionary. Our finishing is awful. And Joshua Adams says, that was my fault. I jinxed it by betting on United to score in the first half. People will blame Ten Hag, but that's Delo. Thank you very much for that from Salim. I can't believe this. There's Connor. Am I out of line for saying that we need 2 creative players instead of just Bruno? Ericsson playing right next to him, says K1. Everything is going through Garnacho. Even the players know that. Rashford is a waste on the right wing. Release the Ahmad, says Sam. And it's like pulling the best Riz just for them to reject you. Delo should start kickboxing with the laces belter, says Hex. Reminds me of the last day of the season, 1995. If you know, you know. That was West Ham as well, Pingrim. What's happened to Mason Mount, says Ash G. Well, he'll be injured. The lads just need some pumped up kicks at half time, says Sam. And guess it's Ten Hag's fault that Delo misses an open goal, says Joshua King. Thank you very much for that. Look, on a positive, I think Mazraoui's played well. Obviously, Anana, Martinez and De Ligt really haven't had anything to do. I think Ericsson's done well again. And I think Bruno's actually had one of his better games. But and I say that, as somebody said in the first half, Bruno Fernandes easily should have 2 assists. Delo and Garnacho. So I think... yeah, look, Bruno's doing well. Ericsson's been consistent again. Mazraoui's been good. Rasmus and Rashford not in the game. Delo obviously has missed a fucking sitter. Garnacho, I think, is dangerous, but probably needs to do a little bit more. Casemiro, bit of a passenger, if I'm being honest. And yeah, as I said, Anana, De Ligt and Martinez really haven't had a lot to do. Looking from the bench, my worry is, second half, can we keep that going? Marn says boring as usual. Well, why don't you bore off, mate, and go and watch Last of the Summer Wine? It's Sunday afternoon. It's not been boring. It's been frustrating in a completely different way. What is the purpose of allowing play to continue on offside? Seems like the chance of injury increases significantly more by choosing to play on. It's dumb, says the Angry Jawa. And as it stands, if we somehow win, we'll be 8th. Such a shame if we draw goalless, says Pantels. It's annoying because we are creating chances, we just can't finish them, says Greg. Not being able to score goals is the most concerning thing in football. It's how teams get relegated. This is not good, Mark. Mid-table finish, says Goldio. You know what? Can I just shock everybody and say not scoring goals is a coaching issue, and we brought somebody in to replace somebody to do this. Benny McCarthy left and Ruud van Nistelrooy came in, and we're not scoring goals. There is a direct correlation there. Now, people will go, come on, you know, but there is a direct correlation there. That is Benny McCarthy's job for the last 2 years, and it's now Ruud van Nistelrooy's job. I'm fuming about the Delot one. At what point has he heard, when you've got an open goal, volley the shit out of it with your laces? He's gone for some stupid Hollywood finish so he can really send a... You know what he's gone to do there? He's gone to smash the shit out of it so he can turn away and go, we're back. And it's just a terrible technique decision. Just pass it into the goal. Make sure it happens. It's frustrating because I don't think for 1 minute that Ruud van Nistelrooy will tell him to blast that in like that. But we are missing a lot of chances and we've got to do better. We've got to do better. We really have. Shay says that's a bad take. Mate, it's not a bad take. Benny McCarthy was responsible for finishing for 2 years. Ruud van Nistelrooy is responsible for it now. It's his job to be speaking to those players and telling them how to finish chances, because people will say, oh, it's unlucky to hit the bar. Oh, it's unlucky when you're 6 yards out with a free header to head it over the bar. It's not. It's bad finishing. What that comment there was absolutely spot on. Bad finishing is as bad as bad. I said it at the start of half time. Bad finishing is as bad as bad defending. People just don't get their brain to work. If Martinez isn't marking his man and they score a goal, you'll go, that's terrible defending. Who's teaching them to defend? Bad defending costs you a goal. Bad finishing costs you a goal. They're the same thing. We are finishing consistently badly this season. And the comment about Crystal Palace was absolutely spot on. We have played really well again, away from home for 45 minutes, and we have got nothing to show for it. And against Crystal Palace, we played really well against Crystal Palace and had nothing to show for it. We should have beat Palace. We should have another 2 points already, and we should have another 3 points here. That's bad finishing. It is. So why are we finishing badly? And look, the people who are missing the chances, it's not Rashford and Rasmus. They've been very quiet. I wish it was Rasmus and Rashford. I think they'd fucking finish them. So it's all right having this inverted winger that gets in behind. I mean, it's brilliant. Nobody's tracked the Delot run, and then he misses an open goal. There's no point in having that, you know, technically clever move where I saw it against Brentford. We did it a couple of times. People don't track the Delot run. There's no point in being fucking one-on-one, and if you can't put it into the back of a net. It's all right, clapping your hands and, giving yourself a pat on the back because no one's tracked Delot's run. He's one-on-one with an open goal and he fucking misses it. He may as well not play that way. You've got to score that chance. It's fucking frustrating, and at a time when we are desperate for points and the fan base is so toxic, those sort of misses really are adding up. And we're playing this clever little football where our fullbacks are inverting and then they can't score an open goal. It's as bad as Delot not marking his man and them scoring on the back post for me. It is. It's all part of incompetence, and it's not good enough. At this level, it's not good enough. And I know some people don't like that, and it's nothing personal, but it's not good enough. This is high-end football, and it's not good enough. Ten Hag will be going on about XG again, but having XG and being lowest scorers in the league ain't something to be proud of. No, FIFA Crazy's absolutely spot on. There is no excuse. There was no excuse after Palace. I thought we played really well, but we drew. You may as well play really shit and draw. When was the last time we got a penalty, says Beagle? I don't think we've had any penalty shouts today, have we, really? We've had more chances than a damn Monopoly board. That's very good, Hershey, if you've ever played it. Welcome to the era of athlete footballers with average technical skills, says Salim. Ten Hag will lose his job because of bad finishing, and it will be given to the person responsible for our finishing, says Fishcake Fly. Why do our players go for the Instagram finish, says D? We're playing well, we just need to make sure we finish off our chances. Also, Casemiro isn't doing bad. He's keeping it simple, says Ahmed. I'm Ten Hag out, but we've been brilliant for 45 minutes, says John B. And I think Bruno would be more efficient with the proper six. So many times he has to start the play and is also expected to create chances, says Tyler. I saw it against Brentford last week, and we saw it again here today. He keeps dropping in to get the ball off the back four, and then he knocks it to Delot, and then he spins. You're absolutely correct. He shouldn't have to do that. Milan would have been better for Xerxes, says Emre. Of course, it's not Ten Hag's fault. What I want to see, however, is how we come off the second half. Maybe just like Brentford will come with a vengeance, says Andre. Well, yeah, I mean, I said that during the game. The frustrating thing is, if you just get... I think we should be 2 or 3-0 up. But if you're 1-0 up, at least you got something. Now what you've got to do as a manager is you've got to say, you should be 2 or 3-0 up. But it's 0-0. They might come out in the second half with a bollocking and play really well. So you're starting the game again. It's 0-0. Everything you did in the first half means nothing. You've got to start again and you've got to go and win the game again. And that does come down to management, you're right. Look, if we draw this game, let the Ten Hag shit start. If we lose the game, let the Ten Hag shit start. We're too long into this journey now to be saying, oh, but we played so well. Like, we are. Even I would say that. We can't keep going. But we played so well and we missed so many chances, which is why it's so fucking frustrating, because I can see West Ham having a good chance and taking it. And that's terrifying. Like, how many games in the Premier League does a team not get an opportunity? West Ham only need one chance to score and we'll have missed shitloads. But it won't matter. And that's what's so frustrating. You've got to put your chances in. Mud says, why did Dalot go for power instead of passing the ball into an empty net? Garnacho needs to service more instead of taking the extra step. I think he went for power because he was trying to go for the message finish instead of making sure. I think he wanted to volley it hard into the net to sort of like go 1-0, you know, but it's great. It looks good if you do it. But I would say, if you try that 10 times, how many times do you score it? 8. If you try and pass it in, how many times do you score it? 10. Right, fucking pass it in then. That's it. Do you notice Bruno passing Rashford on the press, says Pizza? And what is the purpose of allowing play? I've done that one from Angry Jower. Please do subscribe to the channel, by the way. We're very close to 954,000 on the road to 2 million. They've got the fairy liquid out at West Ham, of course. They're blowing the bubbles. Rasmus is good enough. Xerxes is not good enough, says Aman. Players are coming out for the second half. Just in relation to the score at the moment in the other Premier League games, amazingly, Newcastle are 1-1. It looked offside to me, but it clearly wasn't. And even more amazingly, Crystal Palace are 1-0 up against Spurs, who've only had 1 shot on target. So interesting stuff going on there. Thank you very much. The Dalot miss is worse than winning your FA Cup game on aggregate. Still go out, says Per. This is on the players, not the manager, says Ali Jabbar. I don't care who the manager is, but if we can't finish, then it's on the players. Thank you very much, Ali. Thank you very much for that. Jose says, Dalot went to side hit it and it went off his shin. Awful. Hopefully Rude has got a hairdryer, says Stephen. Audi says, Rashford's been invisible. Casemiro's been good. Jason says, get Obi Martins in the squad. It's Obi Martin time, says Nev. Great minds. Harry Maguire says, if City, Arsenal, Liverpool had these chances, it's 3-0 and the game's wrapped up, says Harry Maguire. Thank you very much for that. Imagine if it was the real one. Brendan on TikTok says, do you think it's Ahmad time? And I hope West Ham wins, says Ash. They're making a double substitution, West Ham. This is the thing, isn't it? Like, 3 substitutions for West Ham. So the game could change now. That's what I mean. Completely different game. Second half is possible because West Ham are changing 30% of their team. Tadibo, Somerville and Soucek. Come on. Be interesting to see if Ten Hag makes any subs, actually, because that's something he's been criticised for, isn't it? We need a new left-back. If that's his finishing quality at important times, I could do better, says LMP. I'm nervous for the Chelsea game, says Rub. Mate, Man United fans ain't thinking about that at all. We're thinking about the this game. That's all we got. That's all we got. What about Ahmad for Rashford? Well, I mean, I would do it, Edward, but Joe Tommy says Somerville is good. If we had a decent striker like Kane, would we be struggling? Rasmus and Xerxes need to play understudy. Rashford isn't experienced. Faisal, I don't want to be offensive, but it will come across as offensive. You're talking about a decent number 9, but you're not watching Man United. So I can't agree with you. I can't sit here and go, Faisal, great point. If we had Harry Kane, we'd be top of the league. You've got to watch it the way we play football. The number 9 really is not a massive part of the way we play. Look at the chances we've created in the first half. They're nothing to do with the number 9. Most of those chances are diagonal balls into Garnacho or balls over the top for Dalot or crosses in for a deep-lying midfielder to run onto. The number 9 in a Man United side too often is a facilitator. They pull people out of position. They occupy centre-backs and let others get into the space. I don't think if you put Lewandowski or Erling Haaland up front for Man United, it would make any difference. It might make us play more to them, but we don't use our number 9 the way that the normal number 9s are used. Like Man City, everything is focused around getting Haaland into the game. At Man United, do we play like we're trying to get Rasmus in the game? I think Rasmus is a bit of a what you call a ploy to allow others to run in behind. Absolutely toothless. Should be 3-0 up, says Adrian. Henry says we need to get Rasmus into the game. Tom says, after having my gallbladder surgery, watching you is the best distraction. How do you think the second half will go versus Fairy Liquid FC? Tom, I'm going to stand here and be honest and say I wouldn't be surprised if West Ham win this game or we draw it 0-0. It's just got that. We've all watched thousands of Premier League, well, not Premier League maybe, but we've all watched probably thousands of football matches over our lives, haven't we? And football has this ability to throw up that feeling of it's going to be one of those days, and I've got a feeling it might be one of those days. And Arna's down injured at the moment. Sabotage, he says, look out for Soucek. Our midfield will get well, the problem with Soucek is set pieces as well. Very good at that. Bienda's warming up. Anana injured at the moment. Hopefully it won't be too bad. Lots of people saying speedy recovery to Tom Grant. Yeah, rest and recovery, mate. DK says, brave goalkeeping by Anana. Hope he's not concussed. I am doing Arsenal versus Liverpool, so there will be a match reaction and player ratings, but I'm on the United stand at 7:30 anyway, so I'll do a shorter match reaction and a longer assessment at 7:30 today. Make sure you subscribe, by the way, bottom right-hand corner. I've been Ten Hag in for so long, but I can't deal with another snooze fest. Well, you're not watching one, George. I mean, I genuinely worry about people who are saying this game's been boring. I mean, hello, we've had 8 shots. We've had probably some of the best possession play we've had in 2 or 3 weeks, and the game would be better if we could put the ball in the back of the net. I think Anana might be done here. Yeah, I think he's going to come off. Wagner's gifted another 5 memberships. Yeah, he's gone. Oh, he's gone. He's gone. He's kneed him in the head. I don't think he can play on. I'd be stunned. I mean, Antonio kneeing you in the head. Fucking hell. If he survived, I tell you what, if Anana can play on, and he is playing on, which is dangerous. No. To be honest, I'm thinking take him off. That's a massive call by the medical team. Really is. That's a hell of a bang to the head. Well, hopefully it won't cause us any issues. That's intentional, Antonio, says Sulai. Rasmussen here down the right-hand side. Eriksson goes for a shot. West Ham will clear it away. Where's the card for Antonio, says Mario. Yeah, he's never going to get one for that. Oh, goal time. Sorry, Chelsea. I completely missed that watching that. They've scored. Let's see if I can go back and see it. There we go. Cole Palmer. Oh, bad keeping. Got done on the front post. Well, to be fair, I was very surprised that Newcastle had that at 1-1. Give Hoyland one of these chances and he'll score, says Louis. Good play by Mazraoui. West Ham had a bit of a breakaway there. Josh says, don't worry about Onana because our medical team's the best, says Josh. Constantine says Antonio should have been sent off. Mario Franco says, where's the card for Antonio? And Sulai felt it was intentional as well. What are your thoughts, everyone? What are your thoughts? I've genuinely got a bad feeling about it. I just think when you miss that many chances, you got to be worried. Ken would take off Garnacho. Mate, I'm really not bothered about what subs we make as long as the subs work. We shouldn't be drawing. Palace still beating Tottenham 1-0. Concerned for Onana, says Class 92. I tell you what, we've moved the ball around nicely, though. Some of the passing has been good. I mean, West Ham have allowed us, but... Rashford way over hits the cross. Oh, no. Garnacho on the back post. Finishing's just not... I mean, Slow Sports News. The finishing's shite. Absolutely fucking shite. I mean, I'm not saying Garnacho should score that, but one of the few occasions I didn't want Onana to come off, says Bounty Hunter. No, I don't want him to come off. I'm just saying it was a very, very big hit. Make sure you subscribe, by the way, bottom right-hand corner. Thanks, everybody. That knee to the head could be a career ender for sure, says Danny H. Well, remember when Petr Cech got that? That's why he had to wear the helmet for so long, isn't it? Some people are saying, get Ahmad off. On. Don't take him off. He's not been on yet. See, I think already West Ham have started this second half way more on the front foot. Wan-Bissaka's in here. Which was always the danger, that they would come back and play better. Come on, United, for fuck's sake. Antonio shoots, and that's wide. It's got that sort of feel to it at the moment, hasn't it, this game, where it could just tip either way. But, I mean, to be fair, West Ham were never going to be as bad as they were in the first half. Never. Rashford should come off, says Cohen. Some people talking about Agate. Okay, Casper the Ghost should always play right wing for us, says Akil. Look, if I was going to make any subs, I'm not saying I'd do it right now, but in the next 15 minutes, so any time in the next 15 minutes, I'd be looking at Agate in the midfield for a bit more legs. And I don't think the bench is particularly great. So, yeah, I mean, Ahmad's got to come on. I don't really mind what he does, as long as, you know, well, obviously, I put Ahmad on the right, and you could take Garnacho off and give Rashford a run at Wan-Bissaka, or you keep Garnacho on and take Rashford off. I don't really mind what he does there. William Shakespeare says, do you ever fancy a bet on the game? No, I don't bother anymore, mate. Not for a long time. There's that. Casemiro did it that time. We like that little receive and dink to the wing. Oh, that's a terrible ball by Rashford. Absolutely fucking terrible. And now West Ham are on the attack. Well done by Mazraoui. Bruno does well as well. Now Garnacho all on his own. He's got no one with him though. Into Rasmus. Good shot. Goes for a corner. Not a bad shot from Rasmus. May as well. Sometimes, you know, he's a long way out there, but you sort of get to a point where you're like, I'm fed up of fucking waiting for service. And I think he thinks, sod it, I'll take a shot. I mean, it's not really a shootable distance, but he hits it quite well. Hi, Mark. Hope you're well. Just wait for the 75th minute. We've got this, says Rich. We are a backward club. Shots for our worst finishers and not our best. Does anyone hold these players to account for missing easy shots? A la Roy Keane, says Toby. Thank you very much. Another corner for Manchester United. Bruno's been very good, says Ben. Apparently Saka's starting for Arsenal. Absolutely shit corner from Eriksen. I mean, he does this a lot, not beating the first man. United need a player like Cole Palmer, says Ewan. Yeah, well, hello. Slow Sports News. I don't think there's not many clubs in the world that wouldn't want a Cole Palmer at the moment. I think Bruno's played better than he has for a long time. I'm not saying it's been vintage Bruno, but he definitely has played better. De Ligt's going to get booked here. Caught on the break because Delo doesn't make the tackle, basically. Delo's tackle is fucking rubbish, so Somerville is running at full pelt. And De Ligt has to make the foul. He has to take the foul there. He has to make that foul, because if he doesn't, they're in shit. And that's because Delo's tackle is fucking rubbish going to ground. Bad day for Delo. Rashford's off. I do feel for him. I don't think he's happy on that right-hand side. Ahmad's freed, yeah. Ahmad on. I mean, we've had 15 minutes already. It's just drifting. It's so, you know what? It's so similar to that Crystal Palace game, isn't it? Matthias says you can feel that all these missed chances are coming back to haunt us. Corey says, we've seen this before, loss incoming. I said it after the Delo chance. West Ham are definitely more in this game than they were. Tropical Gamer says, if he loses, do you think he gets the sack? Oh, mate, I can't even be asked to think about that. I don't know. Tim says, I feel like West Ham are controlling the game now. Well, they made 3 subs at half-time. And this is why in high-end football, you've got to take your chances because you go in at 0-0. West Ham mentality is, well, look, we played shit, but we're not losing. We're going to make a few changes and it's reset time. And that's why you've got to score your chances. Huey says, when's the next TUSFC episode coming out? Mate, when I've got the time to do it at the moment. It's just a time thing. I've got my other career mode, which I'll be back doing tomorrow at 3. Any chance of Arsenal watch along? I've already told about 1,000,000 times that I'm doing it. Pete Phillips says, we've created 26 big chances this season, scoring 4. Which is shocking if true. Should have been 1-0 to West Ham. That was their chance. Big chance. I think did it fall to Paqueta? We'll lose this game. We'll lose this fucking game, I tell you. We've been shit second half. I mean, what the fuck is that from Bruno again? Here we go. Fucking Tom Brady's back at number 10. Hitting fucking 40-yard Hail Marys. Fuck off. Give me a fucking Martin Odegaard at number 10. Is that all you've got, mate? We're playing shit and you're hitting 40-yard passes trying to get somebody in. Fucking hell. All the composure's gone again, hasn't it? Half decent 45 minutes. Should have scored some goals. Bit of panic. Right, let's go back to standards. Let's go and fucking do it again. Let's start hitting the same old shitty long ball that never fucking works. Just giving possession to a team that's building momentum. Oh, I'll try a 40-yard ball. I mean, what in his head there does he think he's doing? Like, West Ham are all over us. We've got the ball. I know. I'll hit a 40-yard pass and probably give them the ball back. How's about slow the fucking ball down? How's about take a touch? Poundland Tom Brady would be fair, because Tom Brady was actually very good at it. I'm Ten Hag in, but I feel like either he or Ahmad will end up leaving. He says, well, he's on the pitch at the moment, Liam, isn't he? So I wouldn't worry about that too much. Hi, Mark. Don't know about you, but I'm genuinely saturated with this club, bored of these players and bored of the sense of instability within the club, says Tyrone. Thank you very much, Tyrone. I'm not happy with the second half. Not happy with the second half. I think West Ham are building momentum here. I'd say Mazraoui is fast approaching my man of the match as well. Just fucking, you know what? I'm just fucking annoyed that West Ham are building their way back into the game. And we should have fucking killed them in the first half. It's so irritating to watch the game slip away because we've got a bunch of prats who couldn't fucking finish their dinner. You know what West Ham are thinking about doing? Throwing long balls into the box. Delit's having another good game, says Sean. Tristan says, could definitely use an Odegaard right now. Tom Brady reference made my day. But you know what? You know why it pisses me off so much is because they're building momentum. Bruno gets the ball and just gives it away on a pass he's never going to make. And then that just keeps them building momentum. Which manager do you think has had the easier halftime talk? Love the show where makes work during the games less annoying, says Citizen. See, that's better from Bruno there. He just plays a simple pass. Keep the possession. We just don't look like we're going to create anything anymore. I think Lopetegui has given a goal kick. He's given a fucking goal kick. This ref's on fucking drugs. How's Bruno giving a fucking corner? How's that not a corner there? The ref must be on fucking drugs. Anyway, I'm not really bothered because West Ham have had 62% possession in the second. Look how the possession's come down. Look how the possession's coming down. Knobheads. Agate and Xerxes on Casemiro and Bruno off. Mate, he'll never take Bruno off. Bruno and Rashford ain't going anywhere from this football club for a very long time. So he's never going to take them off. Obviously I know Rashford's been taken off, but he'll never take Bruno off. I would take Bruno off, put Agate next to Casemiro, and put Eriksen at 10. Ahmad's offside. How do you get offside there? Fucking hell. Crystal Palace still beating Spurs, by the way. That'd be a big, big shock. You know what? We are so hard to watch at the moment, aren't we? It's genuinely hard to watch. And it's the thing is, it's always surprising what makes it hard to watch. Like today, the players are doing my fucking head in. Like, we should have won the game. So if we draw or lose this, I'll look at the league table and we should have had 3 points. That's a lovely ball into Ahmad. Fucking hell. That was actually a good ball there. And come on, we've got to just start building the momentum again here. I think with Ahmad there, what he's tried to do is take on the last man, which he's probably got to do because the shot's not on and he's been defended well. And that's a shit ball by Delo. Under no pressure, it's a shit go. It's a shit ball. Unbelievable. Just a simple 5-yard pass. How is Delo still on the pitch? Bad management, says Mark. Don't have a right back, basically. I have 2 right backs, have to play every single minute because we haven't got a left back. When will we get rid of selfish players like Rashford? He's not a fighter, unlike Maguire, who got his head down and fought his way back. Rashford is Pogba 2.0, says Harris. Ahmad just keeps running into his fullback. He's got to take him on. Mark, West Ham have changed tactics and we haven't. And Ashish says, we won't win this game, but the first half we should have been 4-0 up. Now West Ham making a game of this, and when the other team makes it hard, we lose our heads and our legs go. Here's Ahmad. Come on, mate. Start doing something. Delo, Ahmad, Casemiro. Well done by Delit again. 20 minutes to go. Another long ball. Long ball, eh? Newcastle got a free kick here. Over the bar. Bowen, good tackle by Martinez into Garnacho. That's Rasmus, actually. Another makes mistake down the right-hand side. I hope this team plays a lot better and finishes chances when I go to see them play against Leicester, says Keith. When are they playing? When are we playing Leicester? Wednesday. Must be Wednesday. We wouldn't be playing on Tuesday, would we? Should take a chance on Amas for the natural cross on the left, says Amar. Well, they're making another sub. 4 substitutions for West Ham. 1 sub for Man United again. He's got it. He just won't make subs, will he? One sub, not enough. Fred says he's had enough of Ten Hag. Mate, look, each to their own. But honestly, the way I look at it is that we won this game and the players have fucked it. And it's very hard in the Premier League to just keep going for 90 minutes and dominating a team. It's the same as Crystal Palace. Yes, please. It's the same as Crystal Palace. You've got to take your chances. Like, we're not Manchester City. We're not going to go anywhere and dominate them for 90 minutes and keep missing and missing and missing. And you know as well as I do, we're not good enough to play 45 minutes and not score and expect to get another 45 minutes of chances. West Ham have done what Palace did. They're at home. They're a Premier League side. They've sorted themselves out at half-time. And we didn't take the chances that you need to take. And it's very, very frustrating. Of course, the pressure on Ten Hag will mount because he was already under pressure. But what's annoyed me about today is that we shouldn't have been in that position. Mount's not on the bench, Stephen. No, he probably is on a bench, but he's not on the bench. He might be sat on a park bench feeding the pigeons on 250 grand a week, but he's not on Man United's bench. He's probably sat there with Luke Shaw, sat on a park bench, feeding the pigeons. Hook and Buddy, thanks. Welcome to the Members Club. Looking out. I'm just surprised West Ham haven't scored yet. He needs our inability to win games is very worrying, says McElvis. Well, it puts pressure on. If we don't, I mean, look, if we lose, it's terrible. If we draw, it puts pressure on the Chelsea game and the Leicester game, because I said out of the 4 Premier League games in this international break, 1-0 to West Ham. There we go. Fucking knew it. I just, you know what? That's it, isn't it? That's fucking it. Absolute bunch of fucking morons. And guess whose side it's happened on as well? Oh, could it be fucking Delo? Is it Delo who misses a fucking open goal and plays absolute shit? Is it on Delo's side by any chance? Have we conceded because of fucking Delo who decides to try and smash the shit out of an open goal? Could it be fucking Delo? Is it Delo's fault by any chance? Single-handedly fucking shite. Yeah, just look, watch this. It's going to be Delo. Look, he's looking at the danger. Here it comes. Loses his man. Yeah, fucking brilliant. A runner from the midfield. Lovely stuff. What a fucking surprise. What a fucking surprise. Unbelievable. Unfucking believable. I'm not even surprised. I don't know why I'm saying surprised. I'm not surprised. I said missing chances would cost us this game. Absolutely fucking rubbish. Rubbish. Absolutely fucking rubbish. You know what? They may as well fucking sack him. They may as well just do it. We can't carry on with this. I'm tired of it. I've had a horrible last few days. I'm tired of the chat. I'm tired of the streams. I'm tired of the toxicity. Sack the fucking manager and then everything's going to be all right. You know, just do it. Because I can't carry on with this anymore. My health, mental health, is worth way more. I don't want to sack the manager. I don't think it's the problem at Man United. But fucking do it, because the club is rotten and the fan base is toxic and we just can't carry on like this. There's just no fucking point. If these players cannot be fucking arsed, what's the point? There's no point anymore. There's no point. I've had enough of it. It's so fucking predictable. It's so predictable. Unbelievable. Football is predictable, and so are we. I don't even want us to draw. I don't want us to draw. Red Army says he's trying to blame it on Martinez and De Ligt. Mate, I think it was a catalogue of errors, really. Garnacho plays a shit pass into Bruno. We don't deal with the cross. Ericsson lets Somerville run off him. Delo doesn't pick him up. Yeah. Roman's falling. Take a pint, brother. We can only laugh at this point, says Dino. Martinez and De Ligt a disgrace. We should have never taken Delo back from Milan, says Quackworth. He was much better than just Wish Aaron Wan-Bissaka. This is easily Delo's worst ever game for Man United. I literally tweeted it 10 minutes before the goal. The goal's predictable, Rupid, but look, my honest stance is if you can't win this game, there's very little point carrying on. Like, they may as well do it. I'm not going to say Ten Hag out. I'm going to stand by what I believe, which is that changing the manager will not change anything. But it's got to a point now where I've seen it over the last week. It's so toxic in the fan base that they can't. We just can't carry on like this. Like I've never known it like this. So I think they're going to have to make a change, because if they're not, their finger's not on the pulse. It's horrific. It's absolutely horrific in the fan base right now. So, nothing, you know, a fourth loss of the season, Chelsea to come. It's not going to change. I respect the fact that they want to make it change, and I don't think it's going to make a massive amount of change, but they've got to make a change. They've got to make a change now, because it's ridiculous. Like, I wouldn't say I've had my eyes opened, but to lose a game like this is incredible. It's absolutely incredible. If you've watched it, to lose the game is incredible. And I don't actually think it's massively on Ten Hag. Certainly not the first half. If you can't put the ball in the back of the net from all those chances, you have to make a change. There's just no point. There's no point. I'm fucking fuming with the players. But ultimately, the manager will have to take the... I don't think they'll sack him anyway. I don't, but... What's the point in carrying on? If I'm Sir Jim Radcliffe, I'm looking at that and I'm going, what's going to change? Like, we've literally created a load of chances and they can't fucking put the ball in the back of the net again. So, Sean Turner says, how are people calling for the manager to be sacked? We missed 6 chances in the first half. Poor pass to Low and can't defend. West Ham finished their chance. And we said it at half-time. We said at half-time that would be the outcome. Why are we talking about sacking the manager? Here we go. We should be 4-1 up. That's on the players, says Alex. There's some spells that's cast on this club. We can't be this bad. Exactly. Okay, thank you very much for that. We've got a West Ham player down now. Mark, I've dedicated so much of my time and mental health to this club, but I haven't felt this bad in a really long time. I'm tired and fed up a bit, says Untamed Voice. What is the point of Agate, Xerxes and Anthony, says Hash. Sack every single player. Lazy mid-table club now, says Steve. I'm surprised how no one is talking about Kasper Eriksson, says Ryan. It gets to a point where you're tired of it, though, because no one wants to have that conversation, do they? No one wants to have the conversation that actually Man United's problems are multi-layered. I just don't think that... Goal! Casemiro! 1-1! Get in! One back! Goal for Casemiro. Man United have a goal back. Get in. Come on, 10 minutes. I don't want to fucking draw. Ahmad. Delo, Xerxes, Casemiro, goal. Nothing wrong with that. No offside with that. Well done, Xerxes. Well done, Xerxes. Really well done, Xerxes. Gets up. I mean, it was, to be fair, it was going fucking wide. I thought Xerxes' effort was going in. Fucking hell. Come on. Let's get another one. Let's get another one. I don't want a fucking draw. I think a draw is... Come on. 10 minutes to go. Who did he take off? Eriksson. I didn't even see that. So, Eriksson for Xerxes. Sack every single player. Lazy. Okay. Rude for interim. The only department worse than last season is where that guy's supposed to work, says Anant. And Fergie says, what's Eric's problem with Agate? He's getting the same treatment Ollie gave Van der Beek. I've tried to support him, but the results are on him. What is Rude coaching these players, says Tyron. And I've backed Ten Hag, but we're 14th. West Ham are above us. Not anymore, Dazzo. Andri says long balls and counter-attack. Mazraoui's gone down again now. Crystal Palace still beating Spurs. Well, I tell you what though. I tell you what, my mood has improved a little bit because if you lose this game after the amount of chances we've had, I stand by what I said. They may as well sack him because the fan base is horrific at the moment. And if the players aren't going to put the ball in the back of the net, what's the fucking point? I don't know what we're waiting for. But yet again, I'll give them credit. Yet again, like the FA Cup final, like Brentford last week, like Villa before the international break, I saw it with Ollie and I saw it with Jose. The opportunity to sack him is there. And every time you think they're probably going to do it, the players turn up. So, you know, they've literally sacked him with that West Ham goal. And then in a couple of minutes, they go all out and they get a goal again. So if you are somebody that wants Ten Hag to get sacked, you need to look at the players because they just don't seem to be able to want to do it. Lindelof's on now for Mazraoui, another injury. Probably my man of the match, Mazraoui. Gandos says Delo is like Trent without great passing. Look, I don't think Delo is a shit player, but I think he's played absolutely shit today. Here's Ahmad. Come on, mate. Where's he going to go? Shoots. Stupid. Absolutely stupid from there. Stupid long shots. Rush of blood to the head. Don't need to do it. But he had a part in the goal. Had a part in the goal. Is that my tea? Yeah. Cheers, pal. 1-1. Yeah. Lucky. Yeah. Hey, that could be warmer. That's not very warm. How long ago did you make that? Last week? It's been in the fridge.
Take it back then.
What, are you going to put it in the microwave?
No, we just put more hot water in them.
Just put it in the microwave for 30 seconds.
He made it himself.
Oh, Seb made it himself. Yeah, you need to boil the water, mate. They've got to learn. They've got to learn. Let's see if Lindelof has learned to jump, says Tom Grant. Oh, fucking hell, yeah. Did Cole Palmer make that tee? That would have been a good one. Yeah, he said he did say make it yourself. Yeah, this is going to end a draw now. What are your thoughts on a draw? Make sure you subscribe, by the way, bottom right-hand corner. What are your thoughts on a draw? I mean, I think from being 1-0 down, it makes it better. I think draws are very much about, like, if you look at Wolves yesterday, 2-0 down, 2-2 in stoppage time. Everton in stoppage time. The draw becomes a good result, doesn't it? But for us, we were behind, and we still could be behind. West Ham have got a chance here. Good header by Casemiro, who could be heading towards a man of the match performance, to be fair. It's not done bad. Anant says, why can't we maintain a tempo for the full 90 minutes? Because this is Premier League football, mate, and we're away from home against a Premier League side that will not play shit for 90 minutes. It's the same as Crystal Palace. You've got to take your chances. It really is that simple. You've got to take your chances. What are we doing in the box here? Check that one. This feels better. That's perfect. 10 out of 10.
Well, you're a bit unlucky that you're not getting any of my biscuits with it.
What biscuits have you got?
The Oreos.
Well, go on then. I deserve it, having to watch this rubbish.
Fine, I'll give you 2.
2. Good. Can you get me a second goal as well? Yeah.
What?
Thanks. Danny ain't... They want a penalty for West Ham and they can jog on. Never a bloody penalty. You're having a bloody laugh, mate. Why put Lindelof on when you've got Amas, says Callum. He's checking the penalty. I don't think that's a penalty. It doesn't look anything like a penalty. It doesn't look anything like a penalty. No, it does, that doesn't look. That doesn't look anything like a penalty to me. Is he handballs it? He handballs it. How is that a penalty? He handballs it. If he gives this, it's absolute. It's not clear and obvious. Thanks, mate.
Mummy gave up one for you because you're about to have one.
He can't give it. You're having a laugh. Having a laugh. That is absolutely disgusting. That is absolutely disgusting. Absolutely rigged. He's literally watched it and gone, can I give a penalty? Oh, I'll have to give it. It's just not. He handballs it. He handballs the ball. How is he given that? I don't care what you're talking about. He needs striking off. He needs to be sacked. Howard Webb needs to sack this idiot. I am disgusted. Absolutely disgusted. I mean, that is disgusting. It's just, it's the most not obvious penalty in history. I just can't believe it. I cannot believe he's given that. He knows it as well. He knows himself it's not clear and obvious. It's just so not a penalty. It's just not a penalty. Michael Oliver on Michael Oliver on VAR. Oh, what a surprise. What a surprise. That is disgusting, mate. That is absolutely disgusting. I'll tell you what, it just takes away from what the real conversation is. It's disgusting. I mean, it doesn't, you know, Ten Hag in, Ten Hag out, that chat can happen, but that's disgusting. It doesn't matter whether you're Ten Hag in or you're Ten Hag out. It doesn't matter whether you hate United or you love United. It doesn't matter whether you're an Arsenal fan, a Liverpool fan, a York City fan. He stood looking at that screen and he can't make up his mind. So he goes, I'll give a penalty because Michael Oliver says so. He didn't even fucking give it. And he didn't want to give it. And why is Michael Oliver getting involved in clear and obvious? It's not clear and obvious, is it? The referee didn't give it. Shocking. And they've scored as well. Absolutely disgusting. Disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting, that. Really is. It's absolutely abysmal. The referee on the pitch doesn't give it. Michael Oliver, who last year in the Manchester derby gave a soft penalty that Anthony Taylor didn't give, gets his fucking nose in again with his shitty fucking haircut. He's an absolute prick. That guy, the next time he does a refereeing game at Old Trafford, should be booed. That is disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. He doesn't need to get involved. The referee didn't give it. The referee has to go and look at it and overrule Michael Oliver. He spends bloody ages looking at it because he knows he doesn't want to give it, and then he gives it. Disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. It's obviously not a penalty, and oh God, it's a disgrace. That is an absolute disgrace. It's two players coming together in the box and Ings doesn't have control of the ball. Oh, God. Oh, I can't believe it. I just can't believe it. Absolutely unbelievable. Just when you just want to watch a game of football. Absolutely shocking. 12 minutes added on here as well. Oh, I can't believe it. I just can't believe it. The amount of times this season I've said this for other clubs and always prayed it doesn't happen to mine. And there it is. Because it will. It happens to everybody. At some point, it's going to happen to you. Unless you wear light blue, it's going to happen to you. Arsenal, Wolves, it'll happen to West Ham. Disgusting. And as for everybody who's saying it's Stonewall, if it was Stonewall, why didn't the referee give it? And why, when he's looking at it on the screen, is he shitting himself going, I don't think it's a penalty? I mean, how many times? This is what I mean, like, you only change your mind if it's clear and obvious. He looked at it about 10 times. It's literally the definition of not a penalty, because he looks at it so many times going, Danny Ings actually handballs it as well. Danny Ings actually moves past the ball with his hands down. Oh, dear. Will says De Ligt wins the ball with his knee. I don't know, mate. To me, it's just not a penalty. And the fact that it's Michael Oliver on VAR who keeps doing it. Lorcan says ban the referees. If Will disagrees with you on tomorrow, sack it, mate. I won't do the podcast tomorrow. I'm bored of the podcast in relation to VAR. What's the point? Nothing ever changes. I thought last week was a disgrace from VAR. That is a joke, and it fundamentally is flawed. And this is why Gary Neville should not have had Howard Webb on dipping his fucking biscuits in his tea, because the whole organisation is inept and incompetent. That was an exercise in why we shouldn't have VAR, because on the pitch the referee doesn't see any problem with it. Michael Oliver, with his shit haircut and his massive ego, goes, oh, you know what, I think you need to get involved in that. Your job on VAR is for clear and obvious mistakes. So he says, I think it's clear and obvious, you might want to come and look at it. The referee looks at it and is like, what is clear and obvious about this then? Well, I think if you look at it for the 10th time, it looks a little bit like De Ligt chops him down. Yeah, I can't see it, mate. Have another look. I still can't see it, mate. Have another look. Well, you know, I can't tell, Michael. Have another look, and then they give it. It's just it's the definition of not clear and obvious. Absolutely undiscreet. I just cannot believe it. And it's just took away from any conversation about this game. Ten Hag's not going to get the sack off the back of that, by the way. I'm looking at it again now. I'm watching it again now. I can't see even. I can't see what the penalty's for, because the ball only goes past De Ligt because Ings handles it. Oh, just absolutely shocking. Absolutely shocking. Oh, God. Yeah, Green's right. You can't give a penalty on a 50-50. Good save by Anana. But you know what? You still got to go back to the fact that I hate using referees as an excuse. And if you don't put the ball in the back of the net, then, you know, we would never have been in this position. Premier League statement. The referee did not award a penalty to West Ham for a challenge by De Ligt on Ings. The VAR deems there was sufficient contact on Ings' lower legs and recommended an on-field review. The referee overturned his original decision and awarded a penalty. If that's a penalty, then we'll be getting about 20 penalties a fucking game now. 2 minutes to go. I mean, how you lose to West Ham, though. That's why you have to finish your chances, Jordan. You're right. You're absolutely right. The only clear and obvious thing in that is it was always going to be given once he was called to the screen. Exactly, Cyber Spider. As soon as he went to the screen, I was like, he ain't never going to not... Has a referee ever not given it when they've been to the screen? I'll tweet that. There's Bruno coming forward. Garnacho. Where's he going? Nowhere. Into Ahmad. This is probably going to be the last touch of the game. That's it. Over. Well, I'll say what I say on the match reaction. I think he's got to go. I think he's got to go. I think what this fan base needs is to understand that changing the manager is not going to change it. So I just think there's just no point. I mean, that is disgusting from VAR, but whether that should overshadow the missed chances from Manchester United is up for grabs, isn't it? But yeah, I mean, what a horrible, horrible, horrible way to lose the game. Thanks for everyone who's tuned in on TikTok. Thanks everyone who's tuned on YouTube. Don't forget to do your player ratings. Links in the video description. Mark every player out of 10, 6 being the average. I mean, a fantastic 3 points for West Ham. I mean, if you're a West Ham fan, you'd literally be saying, how have we done that? I mean, 3 points. I mean, I've got to applaud West Ham. How have you won that game? The only time I've seen a ref not overturn a decision after looking at the screen was Wolves Man City the other week. Surprise, surprise, says Shay. Oh, yeah. Yeah, but the VAR told him to do that, didn't they? That's what I mean. Oh, Bruno needs to fuck off as well. Bruno needs to fuck off, doesn't he? There's a go. I genuinely think it's time for Ineos to make a change. There's just no point. Absolutely no point. That refereeing decision is abysmal, and it will probably cost Ten Hag his job. But you know what? You know what else will cost him his job? Delot missing open goals. Absolutely shocking. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, I've got to move quickly because I'm doing the Liverpool game as well. So let me get off here. But the trouble is you've got an excuse there, haven't you? You've got an excuse. Right, okay. Let's get over to the match reaction. I've got to move really, really quickly because I'm doing the Liverpool Arsenal game as well. Mark every player out of 10, 6 being the average. I'll see you over there in a minute.